Okay. Hello, everyone. So, I'm punctual, so I like to start on time. So, hello, everyone. Welcome. I was just saying, yeah, we got some extra chairs over here. Just put them out. So, I was just saying, like, as some people were trickling in, it's kind of funny because the Nashville trip, like we talked about it way in the beginning of the year, and like it's just been email updates and stuff. I'm first going to apologize because a lot of my emails, like early on, were not going all the way through, and that wasn't on Bob Rogers' part. That was because the email that I used to register myself and Mrs. Arock and my wife, Mrs. Boardman, is my school email address, and SCPS was blocking my email as being the return email. So I thought I had been sending out all these wonderful updates, and the only things that you've been getting are like, pay your money, and which I don't send. That's all automated, so I apologize. So I'm sorry, and I can't turn those off. It's just something that, no, go away. Great. It's just something that they do, so I apologize for that. And if you are watching this, if you're the recording, I'm sorry if the audio sounds weird. We had technical difficulties, and so you're going to get the recording and the audio, and hopefully it syncs up all right. So, first, if you're here, hopefully you know that we're going to Nashville in a month. Wow, shocker. So, no way. And then something that's not on here, but we do have a couple of us that still need to just finish paying. Like, I'm not going to sit here and talk about money the whole time, but just make sure you go. And some of them are literally like $2. So like, just make sure that you go on, because when the prices went up for some people, but then you also got credit back for that fundraiser, which finally went in. Bless you. Which, once again, the issue with the fundraiser, and some of you guys I emailed individually. What happened with the fundraising money was that Bob Rogers had an old mailing address in that was located in Altamont, and they actually needed to get it moved to their new address, and we could not send a check from our school to Bob Rogers if the addresses didn't line up. And so we had to wait for the county to officially approve them at the county level instead of the school level. Our school had the right address, and every time we tried to send the check off, the county said, this isn't a vendor. And we're like, yes, they are. They're right here. Look at our paperwork. So that's what ended up happening with that. It finally went through. Thank God. It was such a headache. Go to the next screen. Great. Final itinerary. So let's go over the fun stuff first, shall we? Let's go through and look at the actual itinerary. I don't want any of these. No. I don't want to expand that. No, go away. Listen, I guess I'm just a boomer here. So here's our final itinerary. I'm going to go over it. The only thing that is not officially confirmed, because they don't confirm until the week prior, is our honky tonk party, which I'm really excited for. So if you were looking at it, you're like, what the heck is a honky tonk party, right? I'll explain it when we get there. So, something that I talked about early on, Miss Fox, what I love about Terry Jo is that she is a former choir director. So all of the trips that she puts together are perfect for music groups. She knows exactly what is going to be good for our students. And I think that that's just really nice, because it's not just like I'm working with some shadowy figure in some office somewhere. Like, I know her personally. She sings in Voices of Liberty. Terry Jo Fox. Yeah. And so she sings in Voices of Liberty at Disney, like that's her day job, and then she does this at night and stuff, and then Emily has kind of taken over with us. And then this tour director that you see, Ronnie Lee, I have not met Ronnie Lee yet. Hello, come on in. Do we have some extra chairs? Should we grab more? Is that fine? Okay. Ronnie Lee, the tour director, because a lot of parents are like, well, why is it so expensive? You know, we could easily do this and that. We have some really nice luxuries that takes a lot of weight off of you as the chaperones, people that are going as chaperones, and me as the director and everybody else. For example, Ronnie Lee, our tour director, he is with us every step of the way when we are in Nashville. As soon as we arrive in Nashville, he's riding the bus with us everywhere. He's going to every single venue, every event. He's at the same hotel that we're at, just in case we have any questions, because he can answer. He lives in Nashville. He's a local. He is there. He has way more answers than I could ever give to any of the kids or chaperones, which is really nice, just having someone that's there and knows the lay of the land, right? If something happens and like a bus breaks down, or all of a sudden somewhere's closed that we were going to go to. He knows the area so well that he's going to be much better at thinking on his feet than I could be.
And his name again is Ronnie?
Ronnie Lee, yep. Ronnie, and then that's me, you know me. Okay, so we are taking a 56 passenger Premier, so this is the name of the coach, Premier Coach. A lot of people have asked about what the buses are going to look like. There is a bathroom on the bus, but they just suggest that we use it for emergencies only, because, we will stop periodically as we go. We're not driving straight up there, we will stop, right? This is the address of the school we're leaving. So we leave for Nashville on the 15th. You will see that we're leaving at 6. So arrival time, I'll say just plan for 5:30. That way we're just here, good to go. And if we're all here early, see you later. We'll leave, right? That way we can get up there. I wanted to leave as early as the motor coach company would take us. That way we're not wasting any time, right? As soon as we're there, we have full days in Nashville. Everything is jam-packed as we get there. So we are staying at the Hampton Inn and Suites near the Nashville airport. Terry Jo said they've tried other locations, but the airport is designed to be convenient to get to and from around Nashville. Bless you. And so she said this is just the most convenient place for us to stay. That way we can get to all the different locations since we're going all around town. And then check in and rest. So you see that our travel time, stopping for lunch and stuff along the way, that whole day is just drive, get there, hopefully go right to bed. I'm sure some of the students won't. And then this was another big cost for us that I think helps us a lot. We get a private nighttime security chaperone that's going to be there at the hotel all night. It's not me and parents taking shifts, the 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. night shift, trying to make sure if kids get sick or something that they can come to us. We have someone there that if the kids need to, they can knock on the door and they can get help, and then that person can reach out to me or Miss A-Rock if there's some sort of medication that needs to be taken, which I think is great.
And how many did we have? Because you had how many students and how many adults?
It was at the top. We have 34 students, 14 adults. The ratio ended up being really nice because each chaperone only has to be responsible for 4 kids instead of the 6 or 8 like originally planned, which is nice. All right, first full day. We get breakfast at the hotel every day. I made sure that we get a hotel where we get breakfast because it's important. So we have breakfast at the hotel every day, and we have plenty of time, 7:30 to 8:30. We go to Nissan Stadium, which is where the Tennessee Titans play. So we're going over there. We get to tour the outside of the stadium. We get to go up on the bridge. I don't think we're going on the field. I don't think we're doing that. It's the off season. I think that they're trying to renovate, and they try to get a bunch of stuff done during the off season. And then we go to the pedestrian bridge. You can look up pictures of all these things. It's really beautiful. That whole area is really, really beautiful. And then you get the whole skyline of Nashville in the background when you're on this bridge. I'm going to send all of this out, by the way, so you're good. You don't have to take pictures and stuff. So then we walk as a group to the Country Music Hall of Fame. World famous. Country Music Hall of Fame. That's one of those things that you just have to do. That was number one when I was picking stuff. And then you will see that when we visit these, it's not just looking at stuff. I tried to have interactive things that our kids could do while they're there. Maybe they're not a huge fan of country music, but as we're going, you get to do different activities, or you get to learn the history of country music and how a lot of today's pop music is largely impacted by a lot of the blues, R&B, country music of the past. Walk as a group to 5th and Broadway, otherwise known as downtown Nashville. And then we enjoy lunch at the Assembly Food Hall. A lot of our lunches are it says student cost because, some of them might have just stuffed their face during breakfast and they don't care to eat and they just want to wait because we have dinners planned for every night anyway. So they're welcome to get food if they want to or not. It's totally fine. And then we're going to the National Museum of African American Music. I was talking to Dr. Pagnotti here. He's one of our APs. If you have not met him, he's awesome. And his thing is museums. He loves going to museums. He says this museum is by far the best museum he's ever been to. It was just built 3 years ago. And he said it is the most enlightening, awesome experience that he's ever had. So I'm super, super excited. And then we are going to Vanderbilt University at the Music Rehearsal Hall. If you remember that we originally were going to go to Belmont University, the professor that was going to lead us in our clinic that day is on sabbatical this semester, so we got unlucky there. But it's fine because another professor at Vanderbilt which we just like listened to the Vanderbilt book. If you have not read, Anderson Cooper, the guy from CNN, he's part of the Vanderbilt legacy, like the guy that the college is named after, and he did a whole book on it. It's fantastic. If you like, yeah, it was really, really good. So anyway, we're going to be at their music rehearsal hall where they hold their collegiate rehearsals and everything. And you see we have a clinic with Mr. David Williams. You're more than welcome to look his stuff up. He seems like he's just world class, really, really great. And then we're going to go to Centennial Park. And then the Parthenon here, it's clearly not the real Parthenon, but it is a full-scale replica. It is not a 1/4, it's not a half, it is a full scale. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool that you've been to the real one. That's super cool. And then we're going to go to Events at 900 where we get a Motown music show. It's a buffet dinner, so once again, if kids are like, I'm just going to stuff my face during breakfast and stuff my face at the buffet, and I'm good to go. I know that a lot of kids are like that, right? And it's a private showing of Motown music, which is super cool. Then, day 2, we're going to go to Legends Corner. This is our honky tonk party. So the honky tonk, which today is now a more it's like a country bar, but clearly they are not open at 8:30 a.m. God, I hope not. But it is Nashville, yeah. It's not Vegas, okay? But what's cool is that they're actually opening the establishment up for us, just for us. They get to be in there. They get to go on stage where tons and tons of famous musicians have played in the past, take pictures there. And we get a private concert, and you'll see it can't be confirmed till the week of the trip, but they've never had it not be confirmed. So, yeah. And then we're going to the Ryman Auditorium, is a historic national landmark. You have your picture taken on the stage. So like Houdini, Hank Williams, Bob Hope, Bruce Springsteen, they've all been on the stage there, which is really, really cool. Kids are like, who's Bruce Springsteen? A legend, yeah. And then we head downtown, and then Nashville Farmers Market. And this is there are going to be a couple things that you see where the kids will get a chance to explore. Obviously, you can decide. I'm going to have the list of I'm not going to put all the kids' information up there because that's weird and they're minors, right? But it will have just their last names. That way you know who your kid is. And then which chaperone is going to be overseeing the room that your kid is in. That way if they're here tonight and you would like to just touch base with them, be like, hey, could I get your number? That way like during it, my kid starts acting a fool, will you text me? And I will call and yell at them or whatever. We have good kids. Like I always make these jokes, but I make them because like we do have really good kids. Then we're going to the Frist Art Museum. So the Frist Art Museum hosts touring exhibitions from some of the most prestigious collections in the world, and then they have an interactive Art Quest gallery. So once again, if you are not super into art, they have interactive games. Then we have dinner at the Hard Rock. I mean, every Hard Rock's cool, and the Hard Rock is all country blues music, which is awesome. And that's where we're having dinner, and you will see the kids will be able to choose from. They've got a cheeseburger, an Impossible Burger, grilled chicken sandwich, twisted mac, chicken and cheese, grilled chicken Caesar salad, or Tupelo chicken tenders. So they can pick from one of those, and that comes with the cost. You're good, okay? And then Impossible, okay? And then we're going to the Tennessee Performing Arts Center, and we go to see Beetlejuice. My wife is very excited for Beetlejuice. So if you are not familiar with Beetlejuice, number one, it's really cool that we get to go see it because Beetlejuice was supposed to be on Broadway in 2020, and we all know that the world ended, right? And it didn't come back for a little bit. And so the show basically has to start over again now with different touring companies and trying to make their way back up. And it's a fantastic show. I mean, I think most parents at least, have probably seen the movie, right? It follows all the same thing. I will say there are some adult-themed jokes. It's not like they're cussing. They're not like dropping F-bombs and stuff like that. But there are some jokes like what you always talk about, like during one scene, like a guy's standing there and he's like, look at these jugs, and he like holds them out. It's just, there's a couple little things like that, but it's nothing that your kids don't hear, sadly, in the hallway like every period. So it is definitely true. So like I would not have said yes if I didn't think that it was fine, especially when the kids are like, Mr. Boardman, have you seen Heathers? Have you seen Sweeney Todd? And I'm like, okay, you're okay with Beetlejuice. If you're watching Sweeney Todd, you're definitely fine with Beetlejuice. Then on the 18th, we're going to Andrew Jackson's Hermitage. So you get to step back in time, the home. So this is where he lived, right? This is Andrew Jackson's house. Okay. And then it's also obviously we're in center of heartland of the South. So I think it's very informational, just like with the National Museum for African American Music, right? I think that touring, you get to see things that are great and then some things that are not so great from our history, right? I think that's really important that we learn from these things. So, and plus a house that's still standing from 1804, that's really cool. Okay, then we go to the Opry Mills Mall. Once again, this is a lunch, the shoppertainment. Okay, so it's basically a big shopping. There's tons of options for food. That's why instead of including food, we let them pick on their own. And then we go to the Gaylord Opryland Resort and Convention Center, and we go through into the Opryland Resort Gardens, go to Madame Tussauds, which is always a great time. It's all country music themed. And then dinner at Dave & Buster's, which the kids will once again love, so they get choices of food. And then they also, even if your kid doesn't bring money along with them, they automatically get $20 in play cards, so they want to make it last they can. So everyone gets it. Cool. And then the 19th, we come back. We get back at 11:30 p.m. They'll be very tired, hopefully for you. And the reason I picked these dates is because we're leaving that Friday. It's a teacher work day, and they get back to you on Tuesday. So then you still get Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of your spring break. So if you still want to go do stuff, you have plenty of time, right? That's why I tried to I said, hey, can we do like 4 or 5 days and just smush everything together? That's what I wanted to do. So hopefully they'll be very tired when they get back.
Get a copy of that.
You will. I will send it out. Yep. All right. So here is now. There are 2 boys' rooms. They're room 1 and 2. Okay. So if you see your name up here, like with Michael and Anthony, like I gave you guys the boys' rooms, even that wasn't your child, just because I think they respond better to guys being tough on them. Okay. So if you're a chaperone, once again, I'll send this PowerPoint out. If you're a chaperone and you see your name, okay, then you can kind of see room 9. Okay, you're good. Okay. All right. So here you will see, once again, it's just last names only because it feels weird to put full information up. The one room 4 that you will see, we did have, Moira was going to be with us and then she dropped out. So my 2 here, I'm sure they will be very happy to know that they get a bed all to themselves for the trip. So that's really nice for them, right? So if you just kind of look for the last name of your child, that's the room that they're in, and I will pull up the chaperone list after. What's the party room? Room 8? Oh, that's the troublemaker room. We got to put them right next to Miss A-Rock. That's what you got to do. And then these rooms, it's the 4 that we already talked about. Yeah, it's you, Madison, Kyla, and Ella. Okay.
Oh, okay, but all right, so I mean I have her with me as my 4.
She is part of your 4.
Okay.
She is one of your 4. Yep. Yeah, I tried. So listen, guys, when I was putting together, guys, first, I let the kids first be like, do you have a preference of who you'd like to room with? And then some of them were like, well, we know that the 2 of us want to room together, but we don't really care about the other 2, right? I'm like, cool. So, boys. So, I tried to, pair up personality styles, because generally kids are going to be either like let's stay up and talk and talk about the day, or they're going to be like, turn the lights off and go to bed. That's kind of the 2. Now, it depends the day, yeah. And then chaperones, same thing. Even if you don't know each other already, I tried to pair people up that maybe your students are in the same grade, and maybe they will have similar teachers to each other. Obviously, they have me, right? But they might have similar classes. That way you have something to talk about. And obviously, chaperone rooms are 2 or 1 if you paid for the single package, right? So you can just kind of look. Once again, some of you may know each other already, some of you may not. But I think most of us adults are all the option B that I was talking about anyway. You're going to be like, great, bedtime is at 10, I'll be asleep at 9:30. So I will send it once it's finalized.
Okay, no, that's
Yeah, because the room list officially, since we had someone drop so late after I sent in the room list, I'm just waiting to hear back from them. You can see that this is still like under review, just because like we have an incomplete room, but it's not like we have any missing children like on the list or anything. Cool. So I don't see it getting denied or anything like that. So once again, you can kind of pull up the room list, and as we're going through, I tried to put as many chaperones in charge of the room that your kid was in too, as much as I could. So it's like your kid plus 3 other kids. Now, that does not mean, so students, that does not mean that you have to hang out with that same group of 4, right? You may have your room of 4 plus 2 more from another room, and the 6 of you want to hang out when we go to the stadium, right? Cool, sounds good. It will be your job to make sure, as chaperones, that you just have the kids check in. I recommend probably every 30 to 45 minutes, hey, just send me a text. Cool? Like if we're downtown and we're exploring the little shops area, check in with me, right? And so and then chaperones, you can check in with me. And I'll show you the app, which I have. Are those extra Bob Rogers cards on the table back there? Cool. Will you bring them up to me? Or actually, if you want to hand them out. Rooming list, went over that. Cool. This one's really important. These are going to get handed out. If you would like one of these cards, the kids should have brought them home to you, but we know how things are. So if they did not, this is to download the app for us. And I'll talk about it. So, this is super important. Medical info. Mrs. A-Rock is our official... Guys? Mrs. A-Rock is our official meds person. She has a room to her own. We're not disclosing medical info from one kid to another. But obviously, if there's a medication that is already registered with the school, we have that on file, and I already have to get training for those anyway, right? Emergency training things like EpiPens and emergency inhalers and stuff. I do know that I have a few kids that are registered for the trip that have inhalers or EpiPens and have told me that they have them. But when I talk to Ms. Lopez at the clinic, they are not registered with the school. You need to get that done. I know that it's a pain going to the doctor and getting like a notarized whatever you have to do. I know it's a pain. But we're talking about, I don't think any of our kids would be like, here, try my inhaler. But like, if they end up having it on them on the trip, I have to take it. I have to confiscate it, right? I need to know that they have it. This is a pretty serious thing. And then anything that they need to, if I don't know that your kid has it, then me and Miss A-Rock can't get the training. She's going to have a list, and she's going to have, here's what medications need to get taken. This is the other thing. A lot of children take meds with breakfast in the morning or right before they go to bed at night. That's why I sent out that Google form a couple weeks ago saying, hey, if your child has something that's not registered with the school, I mean like ADHD medications or something that they have to help them sleep or like prescription allergy meds, not over-the-counter allergy meds. We'll talk about that in a second. But all of those things that may be prescription that we need, the county rules states that even if it's self-carry, students are only allowed to carry 1 dose of their prescription medication on them at school, and that still carries over. So you look at something like an ADHD medication that needs to be taken every morning, well, 1 is not going to do it. It's better if you just register it with us, give us the bottle, we'll put it in a baggie, I'll write their name on it, we'll make sure Miss A-Rock has it at all times, and then when we get up and have breakfast in the morning, we'll tell them, after you eat your breakfast, go see Miss A-Rock, we'll take your medication, we'll get good to go for the day. Cool? Yes?
Do you want, like, I know at home for medications, we have the little weekly thing.
That'd be amazing.
Okay. I wasn't sure if that was okay or
Yes.
if you needed the bottle.
That would be incredible, as long as we know what's in it. Don't just say, give him the blue one at 6 p.m.
And then it's not, those
Yeah.
don't have to be registered with the school.
No, but we need to know, because what we'll do is if you tell us the name of the medication, then I can just go to our school nurse and say, hey, this kid is taking this. What does the county have you do if you were to administer it at the school? And then our county nurse is wonderful. She will come in and do a training with me and Miss A-Rock after school soon. And she'll say, okay, here's your list of meds. Here's how you administer it. Because some drugs are like, you're supposed to tap the pill out onto the cap and have the student take it. Some, you can just tap it onto their hand. Like, everything is very weird with county rules. And so we just need trainings. And I just don't want to you don't want me to be unprepared with your child's meds. I totally get it, okay?
So should we see Miss A-Rock to make sure that the medicine is registered? Because no one's told me that it's not registered.
I went through with Miss Lopez already and had her look up all the Skywords and medical info. I sent her the list of every kid that's that's going on the trip. And we had 3 students that I already know of that I've already planned to check it out with the school. So
Contacted those people? I haven't been contacted. I haven't had an EpiPen, so I don't know.
I believe, and it's self-carry, right? Yeah, I think, yep, that's on my list already. Okay. And I've already done EpiPen training for the year, and Miss A-Rock's going to get it done. Cool. Yep. Yeah, I believe he was there. Okay. Like I said, I'm not trying to spread anyone's stuff, but yeah. Like I said, and you can call the school, you can call Miss A-Rock, and she can forward you to Miss Lopez and say, hey, will you just tell me what's on my kid's file? Because I need to make sure I have the right stuff on there. Okay? Bob Rogers Travel App. That's the cards that just got passed out to you guys. And I'll also send the link, but I also put in here what you can do. Okay? So if you haven't done so already, please download the Bob Rogers Travel App. It's amazing. I love how interactive it is. This will be a requirement for any students that have a cell phone. Because what's cool is that anytime they open up the app, they'll actually show up as a little blip on my app. That way I can see where everyone is. And I can be like, hey, okay, cool. We've got some kids in this shop, some kids in this. And then if it's getting close to time where they're supposed to return to their meetup location, I can send them a message straight through the app and say, hey, start making your way back because everyone else is getting a little closer than you are. Okay? Which is just really nice. It's just peace of mind. I like being able to know where everyone is. I'm not trying to be a control freak, but it's our children, right? And then also included in the app is our partnership with Group Travel Videos. Any students or chaperones can take pictures during the trip and upload them to the app. And at the end of the trip, they're actually going to make us a video, like a slideshow with music that you guys can keep. You can put on a flash drive or save on your computer, which will be really nice. 10 years from now, you can pull it out and embarrass your children. The username, when you download the app, our username within the app is Boardman. And then the password is 6ASXD7. And then what's cool is that when you download the app, even if you are staying here, even if you're not chaperoning, it has 2 options, participant and family at home. You can actually click the family at home, and then you can reach out to me during the trip. Or you can reach out to your child during the trip, even though you probably can already. But I don't know, there's something cool. Like you're hanging out at home and you're like, I wonder where Madison is, right? And you can just kind of pull it out. Sorry, you're right here. But it's just cool if you're like, they're supposed to be at Beetlejuice. I wonder if they're on their way now. Oh, yep, there it is. I see their pile of dots going on the bus. Yeah. All right. Any questions for me? Yes.
You talked about allergy medicine and over-the-counter
Yeah.
stuff, but then I think you got
Yeah, sorry. So over-the-counter medications. Once again, kids should have brought home these forms, and a lot of them have turned it in already. So I sent an email. This form,
I don't think you did the first period.
Well, you didn't?
You did it.
I don't remember ever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is the county over-the-counter medication forms. This allows us to give your children, we still track it, right? If your kid takes Tylenol, we're going to write it down on the sheet, who got it, and we're actually going to make the kid's initial every time they take something. That way it's there, and Miss A-Rock's got everything tracked, right? So this over-the-counter medication form, we're going to have a lot of the simple things. We're going to have Benadryl, Tylenol, ibuprofen, Midol, or some other things we're talking about. Not Dramamine, but the other one. That Bonine. It's like Dramamine, like motion sickness, but Dramamine is supposed to be taken preemptively, and the kids might not know that they're going to get motion sick until they're motion sick, and then Dramamine doesn't really help. So like there's a motion sickness medication, and they have it in kids' doses too. So we're gonna get a bottle of that, just because it's a long bus ride, and I know that if I'm looking at my phone and the bus is going, I start getting real sick after a little while. So I will probably need some anyway. But this grants,
Mr. Boardman, I don't know.
this grants me and Mrs. A-Rock to give over-the-counter medications to the kids as needed. That includes allergy meds. We'll write down like some Claritin. That way that we can get it. And if there's a specific over-the-counter allergy medication that you prefer that we get, especially when it comes to like, you don't want to be allergic to an allergy medicine, obviously, then please make sure you let us know. And you already put in your kids' allergy stuff into the Bob Rogers site when you first registered. So I have all that printed out for you.
So they
Okay.
can't bring it.
They are allowed to bring one. Same thing. Like they can self-carry stuff. If it's prescription, they can't carry. They can carry the one. If it's over the counter, then they really should just come to us, because I don't want kids, even with Tylenol. I don't want like kids giving other kids Tylenol if they have a headache. That's how it gets really messy, right? Because then kids, when did I take that Tylenol? Oh, I don't know. I'll just go see Miss A-Rock and get it. And to Miss A-Rock, that kid has never taken Tylenol yet today, so she can get it. But it's only been 2 hours and the bottle says 4. Right?
Also, when kids aren't sure that they have allergies, or they don't really know what's in something, and they give it to each other. I mean, somebody has an allergy they didn't know about.
Yeah. And like I said, if there's something that your child takes, you can email me and be like, hey, just so you know, I really need to make sure that this is available for my kid. I'll buy it.
Does this apply also to like vitamins and that kind of thing?
Vitamins are fine, yeah. Yeah, vitamins are fine, Flintstone gummies are good. Yeah, multivitamins, probiotics, and things like that. That's all fine, don't stress about it, okay? Yes, you can bring Band-Aids. I'm not Should I mute this? I'm not going to follow the stupid county rule of Band-Aids. If a kid needs Band-Aid, I can give it a Band-Aid. Listen, if they fire me over giving a kid a Band-Aid, see you later. Okay, question.
So, am I able to give her allergy medicine to go take?
Good question. You are allowed to give medications to your child. Okay? So if you are a chaperone, you can give any medications to your child and your child only. That includes prescription medications. I still, for peace of mind, would like for you to tell me what you're bringing, but you are allowed to hold it and give it to your child. Yes.
Do you have it in mind?
I do. Raise your hand if you would like an over-the-counter medication thing. It's one of those things like, if your kid's got a raging headache and they really need like some ibuprofen, I would really love to be able to give it to them. Not just doing the school thing of like, drink some water, you'll be all right. What? Mrs. Boardman, will you check in that red folder on my desk and see if... See if Madison is... Madison, you're good. You turned it in. And guys, listen. In all honesty, because Miss Lopez at the clinic was like, you can just list the things. I'm fine with it. If you don't want to do a separate complete form for one for Tylenol, one for Midol, one for whatever, just list it here with a comma. Once again, if the school comes after me because you just want, don't make my briefcase like, that would be ridiculous, okay? Other questions for me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you go over how should we package, obviously suitcases for clothes, but like toiletries? Like, is everything going underneath the bus, obviously in a compartment?
I mean, I would suggest, it's a charter bus, it's big. I think it's going to be suitcases underneath. I mean, if you send them with almost like a carry-on bag,
Okay.
right? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my backpack, and I'm also going to bring a suitcase, and then in my backpack is going to be a toiletry bag inside there. That's what I would probably do. With the charter bus, they told me, so all of the seats have a USB plug-in so they can charge their phones, which is
Nice.
huge. And then they also They said that there is a DVD player, so I think that's what it means is it's got like the staggered TVs as it goes, and I'll bring some DVDs and whatever. I joked with them and told them that I'll play past Broadway Blazer shows and torture them for 10 minutes. We're gonna watch Wizard of Oz 8 times. Yes, question.
On the buses.
Yes.
So,
Bus, singular.
on the bus.
Yes.
Will there, so with the rows of multiple seats, how many seats are there?
I have no idea.
How many seats are per
I think most charter buses are usually 2 and 3.
Oh, also,
They're just, the charter buses are longer than what you're seeing.
and where are we allowed to go to the school, or do we have to go to Publix?
No, we're here. It is a county approved field trip. So the running joke was because the county was taking so long to approve the trip, they kept doing like I had a Google Doc going with the assistant superintendent for like months. I put in for this trip in July, and then we kept getting dragged along. We're like, well, we don't know if we can officially approve it. I'm like, I'm about to just make it a non-approved trip, and the only difference will be, literally the only difference is that like the bus can't pick us up in front of the school. It has to pick up us up at Trotwood or something. I was about ready to send an email to you guys and be like, I'm over it. I'm over the county shenanigans. But then I was like, no, because then like the county nurse probably wouldn't come in and do the training with us and stuff. So it's important. And then now you are. The other thing would have been the kids would have not been allowed to wear anything Indian Trails, because then we're not officially a school trip. But now you can. So they won't wear their Finding Nemo shirts.
We should get t-shirts.
Guys.
For the clothing,
Yes.
do they need to have certain attire?
Yes.
Oh, good question. For the Beetlejuice night, I mean, it's one of those things where I haven't been told of a required attire, but I would recommend, at least like jeans, maybe something with a collar. I would say that, because we are going to a Broadway show. We don't want to show up in like holy jeans and a tank top. I will ask. Yeah, exactly. I will ask if they'll have some time that day. Luckily, we do take the same bus everywhere, so if the kids need to, they can just keep their change of clothes on the bus, and then we'll stop somewhere that has plenty of space for them to go and change.
So for the bus, you have to like a bag so the bus.
Yeah. Luggage goes on the bus. There's a big door on the long side.
Alright, so this is all for the parents, because Mr. Corbin and I had talked about this, but you kids can say, if the kids that are here that are going to, what do you guys think about doing a color each day?
Maddie was very adamant. Pink every day.
Only
Yes.
on Wednesdays, Mr. Ford.
Guys, what was that? Oh, that's true. We will be in Nashville for St. Patty's Day.
Mr. Ford, we can only wear this on Wednesday.
Hey guys, I want to make sure I can get you guys out of here.
With the
Question.
TVs, can we bring our own DVDs and like play the DVDs?
I don't think it's a DVD player per seat. I think there's a DVD player at the front, and then it's multiple TVs connected to the same one.
Okay, got it. So don't bring the trike.
Correct. I probably would. Feel like, yeah, because the question was snacks for the bus. I mean, I probably would, right? I know I'm bringing snacks. I am not providing them snacks because every kid's different, right? If we're up to me, I'm just gonna get a bunch of beef jerky because that's like beef jerky and trail mix is mine. But some kids are like, I want sugar. But we will stop along the way. Generally, we're on the way up. It's gonna be like stop for bathroom, stop and get lunch like halfway through, stop for bathroom again, get to Nashville. So they'll have a couple chances. And if we're stopping somewhere that's got like a mall with a food court, they'll have a chance to buy stuff there too if they want to restock on them. So, question.
Do you know Buc-ee's?
What?
Do you know this
We're not stopping at Buc-ee's. No. Guys, kids, you're getting loopy. I'm not answering any questions from kids anymore. Here we go. You're good. This is what this is for. I want to answer this.
Money in terms of like giving the kids, I saw a couple of student cost things, is there the amount of money you recommend they have? So,
I mean, the only The only thing that they'll have the option for is those lunches. I think it's it's the 4 days. They have an option if they want to buy lunch. But once again, if you wanted to be like, no, I'm just going to send you with some snacks and just, every day, take out a bag of chips, or I packed you a sandwich in a little cooler or something, that's fine too. So, I mean, if you think about what lunch would be, I mean, we're not going to stop and be like, here's, you've got to go to Outback and buy a steak, It's going to be somewhere they can get somewhere quick. So if you're thinking, 10, 15 bucks a meal, think if they bring $50 to pay for lunches, I think they'd be completely fine. And then obviously, some kids are going to want souvenirs and things like that. That's totally up to you guys. I'm not required to buy a souvenir. Okay. I know there's a question somewhere over here. Oh, perfect. Cool. You are free to email me anytime. Oh, I should have put my email up here. It's really easy. It's on the school website. It's boardmbz. You can look it up on Skyrim. I mean, I teach all of your children, obviously. So if you have any questions, please email me. Guys, I do apologize for the really long text messages, but as you can see, like today too, that is the way that I can guarantee the message gets out, because the emailing thing just hasn't been working. And plus, I don't know, a lot of us probably just prefer text anyway because it gets to us really quick. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'll probably send out a text through the messaging system every morning. Good morning, everyone. Whether you're here or at home, this is what we're doing today. I'm not answering any more kid questions, sorry.
No, it's not ridiculous.
Probably, yeah.
It's not ridiculous.
What is it?
How early do you have to wake up?
Oh my, that is.
Are you talking about each day or at the beginning? The first day is early. We're leaving at 6. Okay. Anyway, if you are a chaperone for the trip, will you please raise your hand? Could I just kind of have you guys kind of go down the line and introduce yourself? That way, 2 of you guys escaped not having to have any kids. You don't have any kids in charge of you, which is really nice. If we'll have hands raised, if you just kind of say your name, that way if there are any parents in the room, I think this is a really good opportunity to where when I just release you, if chaperones just kind of hang out for a minute, that way if any parents want to come up and be like, hey, my kid is this, here's some things, about them. Cool. So.
I'm Leslie Rodick, Group 5.
Okay.
I'm Jennifer Weideman.
Cool.
I'm Victoria Suplisi.
Cool.
Tanya Cole.
Anthony Martinez from 2.
Okay.
And Brian DeMoyer, room 1.
Cool.
Beth Helm, room 9.
12.
9.
No, 9.
Okay. Cool.
You have one.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
You had to have your hand up.
Okay. So if you're a parent of any of the kids that you know that your kid's chaperone is in the room, I think it would be a good opportunity to check in with them and just, I don't know. I feel like we don't do too much of our kids are going to hang out. We should know each other as parents. I don't feel like we don't do that as much anymore. So I feel like this is a good opportunity. All right. Yes.
Two groups kind of together.
Yes. When you're at locations and stuff, we're all going to be at one location. But guess what? Parents are going to do the same thing. They're going to be parents that meet each other and they realize that they're hitting it off and they're going to want to hang out with each other and they're going to be like, yeah, sure, we're at the art museum, sure, just don't cause trouble, go over there. Sounds good. We're at the Hard Rock Cafe, great, we're going to sit at this table, you guys go have fun, I'm going to enjoy my dinner. Yeah. Yes. Yep.
For the ones that maybe the chaperones aren't sure if they're going to go, is there a way that we can let information?
I can reach out to them and just be like, hey, who's comfortable with me sharing emails? Because I know a lot of parents will probably exchange numbers right now. And then you can also email me too, and I could probably just send you an email. Like, hey, shoot me. Because I can pull all that up. Yes.
Okay, so on the day of, are we gonna have to wake up super early, or is it
So I believe breakfast is 7:30 to 8:30 every morning. So you'll probably want to get up, assuming we want to shower, please. You'll probably want to get up 6:30. The answer to your question is the days will be long. Yes, the days will be long. I'm sure there will. It's a Hampton Inn. All right. Oh, yes. Sorry.
For everything on the itinerary, are
Yep.
we always going to be together, or are we ever splitting up?
Nope, we'll all be together. Yep. And that's up to the chaperones. Like I said, some chaperones will be like, hey, my 4 or my 2 or whatever, just kind of make sure I can see you. Whereas, I mean, like I said, you might have a group of your 4 might want to link up with 2 from another room, and you just tell that chaperone, hey, will you just watch the 6? Just kind of keep an eye on them or
We're not
whatever.
on
It's fine.
shifts or anything.
No. Nope, you're good. And that's why I love having the security at night too. That way, hopefully, everyone can sleep. It's long days. All right, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you, and I'm excited. Yay! Don't start with that.